him like the plague, as he is a terrible danger to their young ones. As long as they have cubs with them, mothers cannot reproduce. Receptive females are rare and can only be fertilized for a few days each year. Males try to mate with as many of them as possible. To do so, they sometimes try to kill their young. Two-thirds of the cubs which die before they are a year old are killed by adult males. Matahota is now a few miles away from Tonka. She's been aware what he's been up to for several days now. Up until now, the male has kept his distance. Tonka is not the only threat for Matahota. Two other male bears live in the area, as well as a dozen females. Grizzlies are not completely solitary creatures. They form a scattered community. The males' territories sometimes overlap and always include those of several females. Their size varies according to the availability of food. Since her cubs are almost fully grown, Tonka is putting pressure on Matahota. It is time for her to let them go. But she is an experienced female and will not let herself be hurried. She still has some time left before parting from her young ones. Normally, Matahota would go back to the forest to protect her family. But today things are different. She wants to put her cubs to the test and get rid of Tonka at the same time. In early spring, the water is still very cold, just a few degrees above freezing point. Yet the female leads her young ones into the river. They follow her without a moment's hesitation. Tonka has come dangerously close to the bank. It is a long crossing, almost 2 miles. That is quite a challenge for the cubs. Matahota keeps her eye on them, but doesn't slow down. There is no time to lose. If Tonka dives in, the female will not be able to rescue all 3 cubs at the same time. The bears have an unrivaled sense of smell. It is even more powerful than a dog's. Grizzlies can even swim long distances while following barely perceptible scents carried on the wind. Tonka turns back, discouraged. He could have caught up with them in a few minutes. The cubs have successfully passed their trial by water. The long crossing has given them a chance to show their physical resistance and their calm in the face of danger. They have taken one more step towards independence. More than half the planet's rainforests have disappeared. A quarter of those that remain are in Canada, in British Columbia. At first sight, this majestic forest looks like a paradise for bears. It does provide home to the highest concentration of grizzlies on the continent. But other people are interested in the riches of the Great Bear Rainforest. Red cedar, one of the most precious woods on the planet, grows there in abundance. The grizzly's habitat is ecologically priceless. But the way things are going, intensive logging will end up destroying this paradise for bears. In places, the forest has been transformed into a well-ordered plantation. These trees were replanted 20 years ago and won't reach maturity for another 100 years. No amount of replanting can restore the forest's natural ecosystem. A boat laden with tons of wood, a precious natural resource lost forever. It is midday. Blackie is worn out by heat and hunger. She has come to cool off on the beach. Grizzlies are exemplary mothers, endlessly patient and attentive to their young ones' every need. For Blackie, it is no easy task. She has to feed herself, feed her baby, make sure she is safe, and play with her too. Blackie has to replace the little brother she lost. Bear cubs are curious about everything, but their interest is focused on their mother. By watching and imitating her, they acquire the knowledge they need to survive. The baby will follow in Blackie's footsteps until next winter. Her first lessons are moments of great tenderness. Despite the constant tension, the two bears manage to spend a few happy hours on the beach. The males in the territory are getting more troublesome. When a male grizzly needs to meet a female, he can walk for 3 days under a baking sun and even forget to eat. This obsession makes them dangerous, and Blackie knows it. She has to stay in a state of alert. She can smell the presence of males and also identify their sound. Bears have very sensitive ears. They pick up ultrasound and can hear a human conversation from over 400 yards away. In the middle of the afternoon, another male appears on the beach. It's Grinko, a huge grizzly weighing over 400 kilos. He has no rivals in the whole of Night Inlet. Grinko is a dominant male. He can smash an elk's spine with a blow of his paw. Before they attack, bears send all sorts of signals that warn the enemy. For the moment, Grinko looks calm, and Blackie decides not to run. These bears are some of the biggest and most powerful land-dwelling carnivores. Although their babies are highly vulnerable, adults have no natural predators, but they do fight amongst themselves. The males sometimes clash during the mating season. The females can be much more dangerous when they are worried about the safety of their young. Blackie suddenly starts acting differently. She has just recognized Grinko. He is the one who killed her male baby. She has to stop the same thing from happening again. The male could start chasing after her without warning. Despite his size, he can run at 25 miles per hour for several minutes, making him a fearsome opponent. Slowed down by her baby, Blackie would not have a chance of outrunning him. Her baby would be the male's first target, as she prevents him from mating with Blackie.